right, 8:16 this morning. As we mentioned, whether you like it or not, back to school season is quickly approaching. We've got Dr. Tawakkol here with some tips on how to stay healthy this school year. Doctor's from Christus Saint Elizabeth, so we're glad to have you here this morning. And I know sometimes the kids and teachers maybe don't want to hear it, but back to school is coming up quickly, and that can kind of present some challenges whenever it comes to health and being safe going back to the classroom. So what are some general tips you would give to students and parents?
Well, good morning, and thank you for having me. I really stress a lot that to go for the pre-testing participation sports exam, and to try to be proactive for both the athletes and their parents. Ask questions and get the recommendation, and share with us as much as possible the information that we need to make sure that your child is going to be able to go back to school, and not only for sports but everything else in performance, and the ability to make sure that we put them back safe in school and for sports activities.
Yeah, and you mentioned obviously doing kind of the pre-exams before they head back to school. What are some of those things that it could catch for students?
It's very important to get the history correct, and somebody who had a previous concussion or injuries, those are very important and red alert for us to be able to do more testing if we need to. We always recommend the testing if needed only. However, we really need to get that information from the student and their parents.
Yeah. How often are you generally seeing sometimes injuries, whether it's concussions or broken bones, stuff like that, from students participating in, school activities?
So if we look at the U.S. in general, there's probably about 500,000 injuries every year in high school only.
Wow.
About 500,000, and out of 30,000 of them end up being hospitalized. So we do see a lot out of, if you look at the statistics, 2 million high schoolers in the U.S. But the good news is that 60 to 70% are usually just sprain and strain, and those can be prevented. Mm-hmm. Less than 10% are usually fracture or dislocation that we have to do something different.
Wow. I mean, that's a big number whenever you think about it, but I guess that's probably generally the age where kids get a little more active and really get involved in sports is high school.
Absolutely, absolutely. They're all looking at going further in their profession, and some of them will end up joining, the colleges and getting scholarships. So it becomes very important.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned obviously sprains and strains can be prevented. What's the best way for kids to do that?
Stretching, hydration, wearing correct shoes for the sport, and whenever the students is going to be joining a team, I recommend strongly that they really get to know their coach, and they know the athletic trainers, because they are the assets of all, and they will be able to help them a great deal in terms of what and what not to do. Know the rules of the game. If you're playing contact sport like basketball or football, know the rules. If everybody abide by the rules, we're all going to be safe.
Yeah, I would say generally speaking, you probably see a lot of coaches and, like you said, athletic trainers on top of the ball and making sure the kids follow those rules, right?
Absolutely, they have to. And they also always have some kind of action plan in case an injury happens. The subtle things that people don't realize is that the athletes usually know their bodies the most. And if somebody is telling me I don't feel good and it's not myself, then there's something wrong here. And when it comes to concussion, that's going to be an issue. The physical injuries is very easy to pick up. Mm-hmm. Everybody, you got a swollen knee, you got unable to walk, I'm limping, everybody can see it. It's the subtle things like, I'm getting forgetful, I did have an injury. And we're seeing it more in women athletes or female athletes, because of playing soccer, basketball, and lacrosse is becoming much more of an injury and concussion in terms of something that we're seeing more often now.
Yeah, you mentioned some of those symptoms too. I also know high school, look, I played high school sports, and sometimes, I'm a little achy here, but a lot of times kids just want to push through because they got a big game coming up. Don't do that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. You may be able to play tomorrow, but the next week you're going to be having a lot of pain and you're going to be off for the season. Rest always check with your athletic trainer. They're really good at this, and they can tell you when and when not to do.
Yeah, okay. Well, be honest, obviously, with the coaches and the athletic trainers if you got a problem.
Absolutely, and I always tell the athlete is that it's not just about the sport and about competition. It's actually developing a great deal of friendship that may last for a lifetime afterwards.
Definitely. All right. Well, thank you so much, Doctor, for stopping by and talking with us. We appreciate all the tips and hope all kids stay safe as you head back to school and start playing those sports again. So.